Hello my friends and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 random run, where we take two random characters, combine them using the GMO mod, grab a random weapon, and try to beat Danger 5 with the resulting monstrosity. Hope you're all doing well. As always, of course, we will be picking our characters using the wheel, since the random button doesn't work in this mod. So let's see what's on tap today. We have the Wildling. Okay, so this will be interesting if we don't roll a primitive weapon, because the Wildling's benefits all are surrounding primitive weapons. And so we might just get stuck with level 2 weapons with no benefit. And we have the Golem. So that's a pretty neat combination, because the Wildling's benefits all are just getting, starting with a stick and getting extra lifesteal, but we don't get the lifesteal because we're playing the Golem. The Golem can't heal at all. So this is going to be, I think, a fairly difficult combo, because we're basically playing Golem that's just capped to level 2 weapons. Let's see what our weapon is. We've got slingshots, so, and we'll sell the stick at the first wave. Now, Slingshot's a pretty good weapon for the Golem. We'll get extra HP. It's good at defending you. But it is a weapon that's significantly worse on Abyssal Terrors than on Crash Zone. Because the Mantis Shrimp absorb damage from it, and the Pufferfish will get extra damage, or will get extra projectiles because it's a ranged weapon. I could roll for Harvesting. I could also just take 1 ranged damage, but let's roll for Harvesting here. Take 5 Harvesting. We'll definitely lock a bag. Then we're going to sell our stick. Just to remind you about the Golem, we start with a bunch of extra max HP. HP and armor mods are increased. And we get extra attack speed and speed when we're at low health. But we cannot heal at all, meaning that the plus 30 lifesteal from the Wildling is completely useless. Slingshot is also a weapon that really wants to level up, so being stuck at maximum level 2 on our weapons is actually a real penalty for this character. So I think this is actually going to be a fairly interesting run. We're kind of just playing Golem, but quite a bit worse. You can deliberately tank damage as the Golem in order to boost your attack speed. It's a little harder to do when you're playing with a weapon like this. Oh, nice. All right, so the tree didn't drop a crate, but the enemy did. Yeah, we'll take a turret. We're going to be spreading damage around the map all the time anyways, because Slingshot's a bouncing weapon, so turret will help us with that plan. I'm going to roll past ranged damage here, because I would like to get more Harvesting. We missed twice, so we'll just take 1 ranged damage, buy a Slingshot, roll, buy a Slingshot, and so actually, re-rolling there, if I had done the math, I might not have done it, because now we can't re-roll again. We did get pretty lucky finding Slingshots, though. It's a primitive weapon, so there's a lot of other possibilities when you're rolling your weapons. You're least likely to find the weapons that come from the biggest weapon tags, of which primitive is one of them. So finding 5 is still pretty good. Yeah, it's hard to take damage on purpose on the Golem when you're using Slingshots, because we're just bouncing shots to enemies across the map all the time. Gonna leave a lot of materials on the ground, but that's okay. So here, I could take another ranged damage. I could also roll for Harvesting. I think I'm just gonna take the ranged damage, and then here I'm gonna roll for Harvesting. Roll again, take 5 Harvesting, and we can buy all of these. No, I can't quite afford those. So we'll lock the propeller hat. I'll roll. I'll lock a scar. Do I want to buy a turret here? I think a turret is fine. Again, we're stuck with level 2 Slingshots at maximum, so leveling our weapons isn't as important as it normally is. And other sources of damage that we can do just randomly around the map are more important than they normally are. So both because of the weapon that we're doing and just because our total damage output is going to be pretty low when we're stuck at level 2 weapons. Took that hit on purpose. I'm trying to reduce myself to 50% HP to get extra attack speed, but honestly, it's not. We're killing everything even without the extra attack speed, so it's not that important to do that. There's the other Curse Alien. I definitely wanted to get the second Curse Alien kill. Curse is one way we can really boost this character. Let's roll here. We're looking for more Harvesting. Take 10 attack speed, but I really want to get Harvesting. I'm going to roll a few times. We missed every time, so we'll just take 10 luck. take the slingshot, scar, and propeller hat, and then roll, lock another slingshot. Piggy bank would be okay for this character, but honestly, I am just not a fan of buying piggy bank at full price usually. It takes so many waves for it to start paying off that you usually just make more money if you just buy items and then clear more of the wave. So there we go. We managed to take enough damage that we are now faster and attack faster. That does mean I have to be a little careful not to run into a million enemies and die, though. Or projectiles. Go finish off that curse alien kill. But we have a fair amount of leeway at this point in the game. Later on, it'll be more dangerous to do that. Of course, we're recycling the butterfly. And then we'll take 8 harvesting. Perfect. We'll take 10 luck as well. And then we'll start upgrading our slingshots to level 2. Grab some armor. Roll. Lemonade doesn't do anything for this character. Let's roll again. Scared Sausage is kind of interesting. We currently have no elemental damage, but Slingshot and our 2 turrets are both really good at applying the Scared Sausage burning. So elemental damage is a way that we can increase our damage output, even though we're stuck playing a character that is stuck on lower damage because of our level 2 weapon maximum. And of course we're buying a lot of HP. With the Golem you get extra max HP, and you want as much as you can get. I'm going to try to build a bunch of HP armor and dodge, since, of course, we cannot build... let's go catch one of those projectiles and take our health lower. We cannot build any healing, so defensive stats are our way to build survivability. Okay, there we go. Got the extra attack speed. Previously, so this change was made a long time ago, but there was a patch... or up until a patch more recently in the game, Golem had different thresholds for the extra move speed and attack speed, and that was very confusing. That was a really good change that they made. We'll take the 10 attack speed here. We definitely want that. We will pick up the reinforced steel. I need to fix my move speed, but buying range damage is so important on this character. Small fish is also a way we can kill enemies a little bit faster, and propeller hat and leather vest are both excellent. Do I want to reroll 1 slot for 8? Probably not. It is true that luck is worse for us. One of the features of luck is that it makes you more likely to spawn projectile or consumables. And of course, consumable spawns are worthless to us unless they turn into a crate, since we cannot heal. Dodging that attack actually slowed my attack speed, but we really have not really needed the extra attack speed. The extra move speed, just to make sure we're attacking more consistently, would be nice, but we're clearing the wave currently without having the bonus attack speed pretty well, so I'm not that worried about getting myself to half health. Another Scared Sausage, so now we can actually start leaning into the elemental damage aspect, and I think I might just take 3 elemental damage here. We can build a bouncing damage build. The 9 speed is very tempting as well, but as the Golem, if we take hits, we'll get movement speed anyways, so I'm going to prioritize that a little lower and actually focus on building a little bit more damage, and we will do a Scared Sausage build this game. This is a build that people really always want me to do, even when it's terrible, is buy lots of Scared Sausages and then build a lot of elemental damage. And usually that's not a good idea to spend your money on because it's so expensive and the upside is very low. But we got these 2 Scared Sausages basically for free. We got 3 elemental damage basically for free. So on this character, we actually have really good reason to be in that plan. We'll take the bait here, going back up to positive % damage. I will take some hits at the beginning, but that's good because it's just going to boost my attack speed for the rest of the wave. So I'm okay just tanking some hits from these lampreys. And now we're at high move speed and attack speed for the rest of the wave. Sometime around wave 10 on the Golem is when you usually want to stop taking damage on purpose because the damage becomes high and difficult to predict and control. So once you hit wave 10 or so, you usually want to focus on just not taking hits, and you'll get to half HP anyways a lot of the time. Now, just because we're building the Scared Sausage stuff doesn't mean I'm going to go nuts buying elemental damage. This is for help with wave clear because our weapons are low, but it's still not a primary plan compared to just buying ranged damage. Here I am going to buy ranged damage over the armor. Both are excellent, but the ranged damage is really good. And Ice Cube is excellent. This is another great way to use the Scared Sausages that we've got. I could buy this mirror, but I think we're going to pass on the mirror. There's a couple items we would like to duplicate, but a lot of the time, if you're buying mirror there, then all you're getting out of it is like a second tentacle or something like that, which isn't even that good for this character. I'll take the slingshot. I could buy tentacle just for 3 crit chance, but that's pretty expensive. Of course, we can't use the healing on the tentacle, so not much point in spending money on it. Gonna walk into the hatcher there and take damage on purpose again. I do need more armor and dodge, and although we can build move speed by taking hits, we definitely want to fix our actual natural move speed. Our actual factual natural move speed. Try saying that 5 times fast, or if you're me, once, which apparently I can't do. Took that hit there, which does put us in a little bit of danger. We're at 30 HP, which is definitely on the low end. And with only 3 armor, we can die in like 3 hits at this point. Here, I'm going to reroll. I could take 6 dodge. We've built 6 dodge already, but I feel like we can do better. I'm just going to take 10 attack speed. Attack speed is so important on slingshots, and then we'll roll here. I'll roll one more time, and there we go. 3 armor is perfect. The 10 attack speed would be nice as well. A cyber ball is great. This is going to help us, again, splash damage around the map. And a sharp bullet is also amazing. Piercing damage works really well with slingshots. So normally on weapons with bouncing, piercing and bouncing don't combine. Ricochet and piercing shots don't combine because Ricochet has a hidden 50% damage reduction per bounce. It's not listed in the tooltip for the item, but it does exist. But with slingshots, they don't have damage reduction per bounce. So although the pierce happens after the bounce, we still get the full value from the piercing damage because our damage isn't reduced. I will take the bone dice. We definitely need more percent damage. And Insanity is probably worth buying as well, even though our percent damage is pretty low. We can buy the eye surgery. We are still doing some burning damage effects. Little Frog will pass on. Ball and Chain I'll definitely pass on because I feel like we can get much faster attack speed than that. Do I want the Spyglass here? I have the bone dice, so I'm incentivized to reroll. Oh, nice bone dice. 1 damage and 1 income lost already. So I think this is actually a build. We're relatively high income. This is a character that does want Spyglass. We're incentivized to reroll because we have the bone dice. So that's going to make us reroll more often. So we'll get more Spyglass money that way. And we can only buy 1 more weapon ever. So this character has more dead slots in the shop. Once we get all of our slingshots to level 2, any weapon that shows up in the shop is useless to us. So as a result of that, we're just going to be re-rolling more often than other characters because we have more possibilities of finding shops that we can't buy anything useful from. There we go. Got my attack speed boost. Still kind of struggling to clear these waves, but once we got the attack speed boost, we're in good shape. You can see why I prioritized extra damage so heavily. Got that loot alien kill, which is really nice. Okay, a second Spyglass is great. Spyglass is not a great item when you only have 1 of it. They do get better in multiples. I'll take 3 elemental damage here, and then I'm going to take 9 speed just to get back to positive. We'll take the Whistle, Eye Surgery, and Broken Mouth. Boxing Glove is kind of interesting. We have -3 knockback, though, so we wouldn't even get to positive knockback, so I'm going to pass on it. We'll take a bag. I was almost like, oh, we need lifesteal because we're playing Slingshot. I should buy this bat, but obviously that is not the case. Take a Slingshot here, and we'll reroll again. Helmet and Bait are both really good, so we're going to take those. Alien Worm, I just don't need more max HP. We've got 94 already. We might end up buying more elemental damage items, so let's lock the Snowball. Celery Tea is pretty bad going into these later waves, but I think we can still get value out of it. We do enough damage that I think we'll be able to clear those enemies. Do I want the book? Probably not. We do have 2 turrets, but that's all of our engineering. So buying an engineering item just doesn't seem that valuable. Kind of forgot that I bought the bait there, so good thing I didn't die. Yeah, let's take a hit so I can increase my attack speed. I definitely am going to need more clear speed for next wave because I'm getting pretty greedy in buying the Celery Tea. And that is going to really slow our clear speed, of course. Ouch. Okay, I have to be really careful here because, of course, we cannot heal. And one hit from a cursed enemy when you're playing the Golem can really chunk your HP, so you need to be really careful about taking damage. Yeah, maybe the Celery Tea, I actually don't think I can buy it. This is a horde wave, of course, so it is harder to clear, but Celery Tea, I think, is pretty dangerous. We'll buy the Hedgehog for sure, and we'll take Helmet. I'll take the Snowball. I guess I'll buy the Celery Tea. I think I can get away with it. And then we'll take the Missile. Do I want the Lost Duck? We would lose an elemental damage, and that is something that we're kind of doing. But additional luck is really good, works really well with our Cyber Ball as well. So maybe I should buy it anyways. I think we can pass on it. I'll roll here, and none of these items are very important. So this wave is going to be tougher because enemies have additional HP. Trying to take half my health in damage here. Normally, I wouldn't take damage on purpose on wave 12, usually on the Golem. But because we have Celery Tea, we just need to stay on top of enemy spawns. They have so much health that if I'm not DPSing them down, it's very easy for us to get overwhelmed. So having higher attack speed this wave is really important. I'm hoping that we don't bounce enough shot to the blobfish there to kill it, but unfortunately we did. So these lampreys could spell our demise, especially if I move extremely badly and take extra hits from them. That was just extremely poor movement by me. I took like 5 hits I did not need to take. Another set of lampreys. I'm going to run this way, and nice. Wave ended before we were going to take a hit. Yeah, I have to take the glass cannon. Losing armor is bad, but the extra damage is really important. We'll take Toxic Sludge as well, and then we'll take 3 more ranged damage. Here, I could take crit chance or elemental damage. Let's just take the crit chance, and I can't buy the slingshot, as you can see. I'll take Alien Eyes. I just need more ways to kill enemies. I'll roll here. Lumberjack shirt, yes. Leather vest, definitely. Roll again. Scarf doesn't really do anything. Wings is kind of painful to buy when you have an elemental damage sub-theme. I think I'm going to lock the bowler hat and none of these other items. I'll definitely take the baby gecko. We're not taking Gummy Berserker, but I am going to do one more reroll here. Our rerolls are really cheap because we have double Spyglass, so we can reroll more often. I wouldn't mind a snake. That could spread the fire around a lot, and we now do pretty good elemental damage. I also would really like increased enemy spawns. Right now, our enemy spawns are just at default, and that's hurting our income a lot. Abyssal Terrors with Slingshot is also harder because of the Stargazers. As you saw there, it's almost impossible not to break the towers, and then the Stargazers always get buffed, and then they absorb a lot of your Slingshot bouncing damage, so it really lowers your total damage output. Ooh, nice. Got the loot alien kill, that's great. Here, I'll take a treasure map for sure. Still have -3 knockback, so I could buy the boxing glove. Maybe it matters, but it probably won't, so let's just recycle it. Okay, bandana's great. We already have sharp bullet, so the bandana's still not... the bandana isn't as good as it would be if we didn't have piercing already, but it's still pretty good. And any pumpkin that we get is going to be massive. Mostly because we built all this elemental damage, the extra piercing shots are really good at applying that. I'm going to take 6 move speed. I'm going to need that to survive this elite. We'll buy a bowler hat here. Reroll. Ball and chain with a 0.5 second minimum. 0.45 second minimum is excellent. So we're definitely taking the ball and chain. We'll take the fish hook. We'll roll. Sunglasses, I would lose an armor, but 10% crit chance is pretty good. You might have noticed that I have been passing the Gummy Berserker. That's because 5% attack speed is good, but it's very expensive and losing armor is terrible. 10% crit chance is a little more exciting than 5% attack speed for us, so I think I will take the sunglasses, and I'll buy a small fish as well. I do now really need to fix my... I guess we're buying this entire shop. We have a fish hook, so we can try to curse all of it. I do need to really fix my attack speed, though, which I have now lowered significantly. Gonna try to kill this elite, I think. I don't mind taking hits, because it's just gonna boost my attack speed if I go down to half health. Although Slingshot isn't great for single target DPS, so I tried to take a hit there from not the elite. Whoops. Taking that hit was pretty bad. I was trying to take damage from an enemy other than the elite there to boost my attack speed, but at the minimum cost of my health, because I was just above half HP. So no matter what I took damage from, it was always going to drop my health down to half. Although Slingshot is bad at... I was saying this before I took that damage. Although Slingshot is bad at the single target DPS for the boss, you can still often kill bosses or elites with the Slingshot because it just clears the rest of the wave while you're focusing on killing the boss. Energy Bracelet, we're still not going to take. It does boost our elemental damage, so we get 3 elemental damage and 4 crit chance. And that's not terrible, but losing 2 range damage is awful. We'll definitely take the jetpack. That'll get my move speed to positive. I still need to boost my armor. Charcoal will take, though. 2 elemental damage is pretty good there. Let's reroll here. Reroll again. Come on, game. Give me something good. I guess I'm taking 2 elemental damage. We'll buy all of these, making sure, of course, to buy the coupon first. Then I will roll. The goblet does nothing. Community support would be really nice, especially if cursed. It's not going to be as good for this character as for a lot of characters because we're bouncing weapons build, so we're always going to be decreasing the number of enemies that are on the field. Frozen Heart's still really good. We've built a lot of elemental damage. It is going to hurt our burning damage a lot, but the increase to just our actual weapon damage is going to be amazing. Especially if it gets cursed. This is actually a fun combo. Wildling's penalties are just kind of fun to work around, especially with this weapon. And Golem is just always a fun run. So I'm enjoying this, even though it's kind of just Golem, but debuffed. There we go. Got the attack speed buff right at the end of the wave. Not that that matters that much, but maybe a little bit of extra wave clear there. The leather vest here is great. We're very happy with that. Wings, I have plenty of move speed, so I can recycle that. I will take the Peaceful Bee. It does cost me a range damage, but I'm starting to build a lot of dodge, so boosting my dodge to 30% is really nice. Here, I could take 3 range damage, 15 luck, or 3 armor. I think we're just going to grab the armor to stop ourselves from just getting popped by elites and bosses. Unfortunately, we did not get either of those cursed. I don't think it's worth leaving them locked. We are going to buy both of them. Lost Duck, I'm still going to pass on, though. Alloy is great for this character. Even though we're building dodge, both ranged damage and elemental damage matter a lot, and the engineering and crit chance are also both pretty good. So we get benefits from all of these stats, so we'll always buy the alloy here. Roll again. I was really hoping to lock something for our fishhook, which has, again, underperformed wildly. But unfortunately, we rolled into nothing there, so fishhook is going to have to wait at least one wave before it can try to redeem itself. As I've mentioned a few times lately, I think fishhook is actually quite overrated for just beating 20 levels of Danger 5 for winning the game. It's obviously critically important to Endless Mode, and it's still a very good item, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people have it in their like top 1 items in the game, and that's just not true for just beating Danger 5. It takes a long time to pay off, and it basically doubles an item every few waves, which is very good, but it's not significantly better than something like Treasure Map, which just gets you extra items every few waves a lot sooner. Defective steroids we're going to recycle. We will roll here and could take 10 luck. I think I'm just going to take the crit chance. That's just really nice for us. Our percent damage is pretty terrible, so I think I am going to take the coil here. And we could actually take Rip and Tear. We are kind of scattering damage around the map anyways, so I think Rip and Tear is going to be not bad. I was like, oh, a baby squid, but of course we're playing the Golem, so doesn't do anything. And we'll take a bait here, lock a helmet, I'll roll, and I will lock Feather, Lure, and Wisdom. All of these we would be very happy to curse. So I'm gonna try to reduce my HP to half. So again, I'm gonna try to take a hit from something that's not the boss here, just to get to half, but maximize my health. Unfortunately, I took a hit from the boss, but that's okay. We'll just try to kill it quickly and avoid being in danger. This elite, once you have decent move speed and good damage, like good wave clear, is usually pretty easy, because you can just run around it in a circle. And it will typically not hit you. My move speed is actually kind of high on this character right now, which is putting me under some pressure, just because I have to dodge a lot of enemies. We only have 27 health. We're the Golem. We can't heal it back up. And I move really fast, which can mean that I move into enemy attacks before my reflexes can keep up with them. That is always a danger when you end up with really high move speed on a character. We'll take the Kraken's Eye. This is great. Lots of extra HP. We'll recycle the Blood Leech. Baby with a Beard is perfect. That's a ton of extra damage. Let's reroll here. Reroll again. Take 3 armor. And okay, nice. Our fishhook did good this time. We got 2 great items cursed. Feather, we benefit from both the dodge and ranged damage being cursed, so we're very happy with that. We'll still buy Lure, even though obviously we can't use the regen, but the extra items are good. We'll take a pumpkin here. I'll lock a missile. I would buy this if it got cursed. I might not if it doesn't. Buy corrupted shard and then lock both of these and see if fishhook can go for 2 for 2 on giving us good value. Drinking some water here. It is allergy season, so fighting the allergy demons to bring you Brotato videos without, a lot of coughing in them. I also had a cheeseburger for dinner, and poutine in the most Canadian way possible. And you're not supposed to eat cheese before you talk into a microphone, because it makes you more phlegmy. That's just good advice, by the way, if you are giving a presentation or something like that. Cheese, no. Green apples and beer, yes. I'll take a Gentle Alien here. Estes Couch, we would just get a bunch of negative move speed for no value. So let's pass on that. We'll take the Rip and Tear. We'll buy some attack speed. 0 hits on our Fishhook, but honestly, the Fishhook has done pretty well for us already. I think I will still buy the missile here. Triangle of Power, we can only take so many hits before we die anyways, so Triangle of Power is going to be pretty good for us. We'll lock the Crystal, we'll roll, gonna lock the Poisonous Tonic. We have double Rip and Tear. Do I want the Dynamite as a result of that? Probably still not. Roll a couple times here. I'll lock the Slingshot, because if we get a Cursed Slingshot, it'll be pretty good. And obviously, we're not going to lock the Fishhook, because we're going into the last wave, so it would have no time to give us value. Or the last shot, so it will have no time to give us value. Yeah, now that I think of it, I did in fact have the most Canadian meal. Bacon cheeseburger, side of poutine, Molson Canadian. So I'm really living up to stereotype. I'll take the elemental damage here. Could be useful in the last wave. I guess, actually, the white flag I could have considered. On the Golem, having extra enemies on the field is not an advantage. On almost any character, having extra enemies on the field during the boss wave is an advantage, because you have more possibilities for lifesteal, more possibilities to drop consumables to heal back up, and so on. On the Golem in particular, it's not, because you can't heal. So having more enemies is irrelevant and just puts more projectiles on the field. It's a little different for slingshots, because we can maybe use them to bounce shots onto the bosses without getting near them. So it's not entirely clear that the white flag was the right pick, even on this character, but it's something I should have considered. I'm going to buy all these. I will lose 1 damage to buy more dodge, because we're getting close to dodge cap, so dodge is pretty good. Lost Duck doesn't do anything. Tree doesn't do anything. These are both, again, worth considering on other characters, because they would increase a chance to heal, but not so on this character. And then I'll buy some more % damage, and we'll see if we can kill the bosses. So I actually do want to avoid taking hits here, because we have the crystal, so I can keep my attack speed bonus. Unfortunately, immediately took hits, which is fine. Trying to focus down the whale boss first. Got the attack speed bonus. The thing about the Golem is, unless you have just infinite damage, the bosses are always going to be a little fraught, because it's hard not to take hits. These will be long waves, and you can't heal. So there's always going to be some tension when you're fighting the bosses on this character, even when you're very strong, as indeed we were by the time we got there. So we still had to play that a little carefully, but we got there in the end. Let's take a look at our items here. So the turrets did 13.3k, not bad. Our bags got us 1265 with triple bag, just incredible. Scared Sausages definitely worked out, 55k damage, because we ended up with a lot of elemental damage, so the Scared Sausage burning was very powerful, and the Ice Cube debuffing also helped us kill enemies much faster. 20k damage on our Cyber Balls. I complained about the Bone Dice when I bought it, but it ended up being phenomenal. 20 damage for only 2 HP lost is exactly double the normal ratio that you would expect. So that's pretty good, and ended up being a lot of bonus damage. Spyglasses, these were good spyglasses. We got 400 save materials off of them. They only cost us like 100 to buy, so the spyglass was very good here. We got 450 off of coupon. Yeah, cursed bag still excellent. Bunch of extra levels off the celery tea, which got us to level 25, which is nice. 22k damage on alien eyes is not bad either. The ball and chain was great. Our weapons were nowhere near that fast, so the ball and chain was excellent. What else? The ugly tooth made the cursed ugly tooth made the boss fight a lot easier as well. 4k damage on Kraken's eye. This, of course, is just for the max HP and the curse. The explosion damage, not great when you don't want to get hit because you're playing the Golem. And then no other economy items, but I guess we did do 11k damage with the Rip and Tear, so these weren't terrible either. Alright, my friends, hope you enjoyed this run. This was a really fun one, trying to just survive with nerfed Golem. And honestly, I recommend this run. I think that it's just interesting playing this character, but with the penalty, with very minor penalty of just not being able to have weapons higher than level 2, made for a really interesting run. As always, of course, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, my friends. I'll catch you next time.